Blessings, everyone. First off, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining my channel. I am gonna do a video on, as you can tell, about the Horror Tarot. I had filmed a video yesterday and I was all cute in it and everything because I was so excited about this deck. And I realized something, that number one, when I do videos, I need to make sure, as opposed to, what is it? Be more clear in my intention or what's actually happening, because I did an unboxing video. I was so excited. And then as I sat with the cards a little more and really kind of put intention into it, as opposed to wide-eyed wonderment as my initial response or feeling, when I kind of looked more at the deck, I kind of had some mixed feelings. So here we go. Let's talk, folks. Let's talk. I've been so excited about this deck, and part of why I'm redoing the video, aside from what I just mentioned, is I thought that I knew who were the collaborators on this deck, and then I realized, hey, you're wrong. So maybe you should, know what you're talking about before you get out there and start talking. So the Horror Tarot is done by an artist whose work I am so in love with. Her name's Abigail Larson. Any of you who already have the Darkwood Tarot are familiar with Abigail Larson. Some people who might be into gaming world or different graphic novels. She is a wonderful artist. If you like her style of artwork, then you're probably gonna love, her interpretation. She's a brilliant artist, and I love the Darkwood Tarot. Now, there's a couple of things about it that I kind of would prefer were different, shall I say. I wish that it didn't have quite as many muted tones in the Darkwood. I still absolutely adore the deck. I'm just not a muted tone kind of a girl. But I digress. This is not supposed to be about the Darkwood Tarot. When I found out that she was doing the Horror Tarot, I was so excited because, again, I love her artwork, and I figured the colors might pop a little bit more. So when she did the Darkwood, she did it with Sasha Graham, OG in the tarot game, written many books. So she's very well versed as a professional reader, someone who's delved so deeply into tarot. So I thought Sasha Graham had her hand in this deck. She did not. So let's unpack, folks. What I've kind of done here is I'm going to go over packaging and what comes in it when you first get the deck. We'll talk about backs. We'll talk about piles. So hopefully this portion right now will kind of help you know what you're going to get out of this video, and be quite honest, help my ADD ass brain to kind of keep consistent with what the hell the point is I'm trying to make. So I've got it separated into different piles, different stacks as I've separated the deck. Now let's talk about packaging right off the bat. I am in love with this freaking beautiful red foil. In keeping with that, I'm going to talk about some good, bad, and indifferent that I feel about everything overall. So when you open the packaging, it had like the standard, plastic shrink wrap to keep the box safe. It is definitely a sturdy box that's going to be great for storage. Very protective, especially if you're a person who does readings off-site in different places and traveling. This is an awesome box. So on the exterior, yes, feline. I heard a little meow. We've got this pretty little spider web and some images that are going to show what's going to be on the deck. Here's some of the cards. Also on the side, we've got all of that. And what's this? Insight Editions. Now, I'm not familiar with this publishing company. I don't think I have any decks from them. So I can't really compare to anything they've done before or not. So we have the exterior, and on the back of the packaging here, it just kind of gives you a little blurb about the deck. And that it's basically about classic horror literature films, that everything is based on. Okay, so when we open the box, and again, it's really nice and snug so your cards won't fall out. So that's a huge bonus. Inside, I love, look how pretty that is. You've got little skulls and axes and bats and scythes and some eyeballs and spiders and bloody stakes and whatnot. So the packaging on the inside of the box, and I like how it has this little well so your cards do fit very snugly in there. I love when they include the ribbon. It makes it easy to pop the cards out in when you have the entire deck, and the booklet in there. So beautiful crimson red ribbon. So all yay, all yay. And the booklet. I was expecting because it's Abigail Larson and because I know what I had with the Darkwood Tarot. And I realized I need to probably state from the beginning, no, this is not about the Darkwood Tarot. Are you going to hear me mention and make reference to the Darkwood Tarot a lot? Yeah, you are. Because Abigail Larson did both decks. So maybe I'm making unfair comparisons. That very well could be. With the Darkwood Tarot, you got an amazing guidebook. It was large in size. The pictures are beautiful. I'm actually going to probably end up getting a second copy of just the book so that I can maybe frame some of the pictures, or go on Abigail Larson's site and see if some of the images can be purchased. It's very informative. It's kind of a narrative that walks you through the storyline. So it's this witch going into dark wood and her experiences for her own personal growth. Very much a fool's journey type of a thing. In this booklet, it is much smaller, which means much less information. It does not go into as deep detail. Now in the front, it does have a nice table of contents. Yay for that. That's pretty awesome. Has an introduction. Now let's talk about this introduction, folks, because it does say that, okay, welcome to the Horror Tarot deck and guidebook. Prepare to face your worst fears if you dare. Each card brings to life frightful characters from gargoyles to vampires. It goes on to say that how tarot can be used for more than just divination. You don't have to be psychic, or a medium or an astrologer to gain benefit. So I love all of that. That it's great for both experienced readers and people who are new to coming to the world of tarot. I love that. Let's see. Understanding your tarot deck with time and practice. So encouragement, love that. Breaks it down into how it's majors, minors. Now, here's where some things didn't fall into place with what was written and what was actually experienced by me, at least looking at the deck. So there are 78 tarot cards in a deck broken down into two sections. So it explains majors and minors, and then the different suits. And it says the major arcana cards reveal spiritual secrets about the individual's journey from naivete to enlightenment. In the Horror Tarot deck and guidebook, this journey begins with a naive survivor, bloodied and worn, on a dark road mid-escape, looking to hitchhike to safety. And she takes the fool's traditional place of card number 0. The next 56 cards are broken up into the minor arcana, which represent the external circumstances and people. Minor arcana are sorted into 4 suits. Wands are fire, which are represented by supernatural possessed beings. Pentacles, earth, are represented by monsters. Swords, air, are about your mind, and these cards are represented by things that are controlled by insight, fear, and even paranoia. Cups, water, are our feelings and impulsive reactions. So these cards are represented by emotionally driven figures that let their anger get the best of them. Each element helps us to understand our darkest motives, angriest ambitions, waking nightmares, da 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 da. Then it goes on to explain the 16 court cards that go pretty traditional: king, queen, knight, and page. Beautiful opening, beautiful art for the intro, which is getting us into the next section, which breaks it down to majors. So you have a blurb, tiny blurb about what each card is, the upright meaning, the reverse meaning, and then a beautiful image of the card. I love that this portion is color, and it goes on for each one of the majors. Then when we get through the majors, we break it down into the minor arcana. And they start with the minor arcana with the court cards, which I would have given a separate section for court, or I would have started minors at ace, and ace through 10, then page, knight, queen, king. It starts off with court cards. Gives upright and reverse meanings, but it's very limited information. So I guess my kind of gripe at this point is I was thinking it's going to have some more meat, fleshing out why the images were chosen. What is this a nod to? What horror story? What literary work? What movie? What character? As opposed to pretty basic, standard Little White Book type version of explanations. So we go through all the minors, and then I do like, for new people who are new to tarot, it does give you how to care for your deck, options on that, how to do readings, how to prepare yourself by cleansing your space. Love that. Then some sample spreads for people who use spreads, how to do that. So that's the book. Then it talks about the authors, who are Arya, and I apologize, I know I'm butchering this poor person's name, Arya Gmeter, and it gives some information about her various degrees, and esoteric studies, School of Astrology in New York City, I guess. Then Minerva Siegel, who I know has done quite a bit in terms of the esoteric community and is a published author. So, and then of course about Abigail Larson. So that's our book. Maybe it's not fair that I'm making a comparison to this book and Darkwood Tarot. We should play a drinking game. How many times am I going to say Darkwood Tarot in a video for Horror Tarot? So let me pop that to the side and get into it. Like I said, I've separated the cards into piles. And basically the piles are going to be, or kind of set up on, loved it, keeping it, here for it. Not so sure about, don't love, don't hate, just not really, kind of and just hard, no. I love the Instagram reel thing. No, immediately no. So we have a pile of that over here. So let's start with the yeses. Abigail Larson, again, I love her artwork. Hands seem to be the hardest thing to draw, and this woman does an amazing job at drawing hands. And aces, she has got down pat. So we've got our aces. It is what it is, it ain't what it ain't. I love it, with a horror touch. I'm also realizing something I should have covered, so I'm going to talk about backings and this border. But let's look at aces. She's got it. It is what it is. I love her aces. So let's get into backings. It's not that I dislike the back. It's just kind of that, kind of a feeling that I have. I think it's beautiful. It's like this gorgeous Victorian, blood red wallpaper that looks kind of stained, stained with age, stained with blood, who knows. I love that. I love that for people who read reversals. This obviously works completely well for reversals. I just feel that something more could have been done. This just feels unfinished for me. This feels like, oh wow, there's this beautiful background, but there should be some image to kind of finish it and polish it off. It just feels kind of lackluster, like a lot of potential, but not quite done. Now let's look at one of these aces and talk about the borders. I think the borders are beautiful. I personally prefer borderless cards, and I know there was a whole phase when people were whacking off cards left, right, and center. It was hard for me as a tarot purist, about 10 years ago when this kind of came out of cutting off borders. At first I was like, oh my God, no, the sacrilege. Then I was like, dear God, this is just awesome. Things just flow so much more clearly and fluidly and beautifully. I'm not mad at these borders. I think they're beautiful. I think the style is very appropriate to the theme of the deck. And I don't feel like they inhibit, they're not obnoxious. They're not, prohibiting like the message to be read. They're beautiful. So in keeping with I don't like borders, I like these borders. Little raven claws or crow's feet. Can you tell what house I'm in? Raven claws down here. And then you have the title of the card. I wish it were, here's the thing. It's very hard to see unless it's capturing the right light. The gorgeous red gilding is beautiful, but if it's not in the right light, it's very hard to see. So it's kind of like either don't have the title at all, or if you're going to have it, which I don't necessarily disagree with, a slight bit bigger so that the light will capture it. Because if you're not in the right light, you can't really see it. So we're moving on from aces because overall the imagery for aces in a deck that is basing itself on Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, solid. Ting! Thumbs up. 2 horns up. Where are we gonna go now? Let's keep going with the yeses. Now some imagery, for example, that I was kind of like, is this gonna be a hard yes or hard no? Let's look at this Hierophant. At first I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I was like, wait a minute, no. It's a nun. And I was like, oh my God, hell yes, I'm here for it. Because it has a lot to do with a person who, it's a nod to the church, a nod to dogmatic tradition, a nod to pomp and circumstance, ritual, the way things have to be done, a nod to authority figures in that light. And as opposed to a Hierophant, which is a pope, we've got a nun, but it's our evil nun. So I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it's going to be the longest video in history, if not. The Emperor, love. Lovers, can't argue, loving it. Chariot, totally love. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be reading again this year at the Anne Rice Vampire Ball, and I'm hoping that this carriage might make its way somehow. I have a feeling it might, as we're doing a memorial for our beloved Anne Rice, and this type of carriage for, going to a cemetery. Hearse, thank you. Use your words. Is going to be featured in the new Interview with the Vampire that's been filmed here for the past few months in New Orleans. So yes, Chariot, can't argue. Wish it had 2 horses, but not mad at it at all. Judgment, rising out of the graveyard. Perfect. This 9 of Swords, loving it. Not my favorite image of the moon, but can't argue with it. Here for it. The Empress, dear God, is terrifying, but that's what it's supposed to be because it's a horror tarot. She is giving birth to something, Cthulhu's baby, but yes. Magician, mad scientist, love it. And this also makes me realize I need to point out that there is some inclusivity in this deck, which I do love. A nod to, there are definitely people of color, some specifically who appear to be of Asian descent, just various people of color, so yes. And loving this Magician. The Alchemist there. The Fool. Hell yeah, love it. It is a monster-themed horror tarot deck. Justice, boom. Wheel of Fortune, oh my God. Freaking love this. The Hermit, I love this. I think it's a really cool take. You know, the person who's too secluded out there in the woods. And you do have the light. So as opposed to a wise old sage who's standing on that mountaintop, we've got the actual hermit's cabin in the woods. Love it. 4 of Wands. Love it. Death. Beautiful. How about this Mothra on the 8 of Wands? Now the Star card. I have this in my love it pile. I can see why people would not. Let me explain. Not a damn star in sight, which made me very close to putting it as a hard no or a meh. Mixed results, mixed feelings about it. For me, I love this because for me personally, the Star card has oftentimes can be a nod to telling people to contact their spirit guides that are watching over them, their ancestors, a message from beyond. Stars have to do with communication sometimes for me, navigation, thinking outside the box. So because that oftentimes comes up for me in my personal practice as a reader and the traditions that I follow, this is oftentimes the star is a message from spirit to give guidance. So for me, this is a hard yes. The fact that there's not a star on it, no. But it still made my yes pile. 5 of Wands. This I love because this seems more of the working together, you know, joining our evil forces for a common cause as opposed to shenanigans and ego foolishness. But love it. 5 of Wands. 2 of Swords. Simple, direct, to the point. Got a moon, 2 swords. Yes. 2 of Cups. Beautiful. 2 of Pentacles. I almost didn't put this in my hard yes pile, but I went ahead because sometimes for me, 2 of Pentacles is kind of a vibe of wish in one hand, shit in the other one. Which one's filling up first? It's on the one hand this, but on the other hand that. So for me, that's how that made a hard yes. 10 of Swords. Yes, absolutely. 8 of Swords. Freaking love this because I'm this may end up being my favorite 8 of Swords of any deck. She has one of the swords as a dagger to cut herself free. This may go down in history as my absolute favorite 8 of Swords. Yeah, that's loving it. 7 of Swords, ain't mad at it, yeah. 6 of Swords, very obviously a yes. 4 of Swords, yes, totally here for this. 3 of Swords, beautiful, perfect, delightful, awesome. 8 of Cups, perfect imagery when we're looking at Rider-Waite decks. 5 of Cups, I don't love it. Just aesthetically, I feel like something is missing for it from me personally, but does it follow what it's supposed to follow? Yes, it does. Three of Cups. Love it, love it, love it. Hanged Man. How the hell can you argue with that? Seven of Cups. Rock on. Nine of Wands. I was kind of on the fence, but yeah. Yeah, this, creepy, almost, yeah, love her, love her. She's hanging on by a thread there, still pushing through. So, if you don't want to hear the negative, you might want to cut the video off now because we have gotten through the absolute yeses, and now we're getting into the and the no. Where are we going to go? Well, hell, we might as well go with the first. High Priestess. I have been known to, like for me, Nine of Pentacles and High Priestess. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles, High Priestess, Star, and Moon are my absolute, like I'm looking for the imagery on those cards. If I don't like the imagery on those, I may or may not buy the deck. If I don't like the imagery on the High Priestess though, forget about it. This High Priestess, it's in my meh pile because for me, the High Priestess is so much about water. I love that she's holding the scroll. I love that she's going into a different realm. There's the wall coming down. So it's she's, in a liminal space betwixt and between. We've got the moon. I want water on my High Priestess card. I want water. And more of a crescent than a full, but I'm not going to argue about that full moon. But 10 of Cups. I mean, yeah, it's delightfully creepy. This whatever blood ritual here, but it's gorgeous. This probably should have gone in my no pile, though, now that I'm looking at it. 5 of Pentacles. No, this should have been in my no pile. Okay, I remember now. Sometimes some of these made my so-so pile because the imagery is beautiful, but that's silly. The imagery is gorgeous. How the hell does this show the lack of 5 of Cups? This actually shows opulence and grace and beauty and hope, and as opposed to just narrowing in on that in a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck of the cathedral window, we don't see any of the strife, the lack, the sickness, the hopelessness, the barren landscape, Two of Wands, beautiful imagery. Need to feel it out before I make a hard no on it, but Nine of Cups. I don't know. I don't read the Crowley Thoth deck, but this kind of makes me think of something is maybe as a nod more to that style of deck, that school of tarot, satiety. I don't know. 5 of Swords. Don't love it. Don't hate it. The World. Cthulhu eating the world. Don't love it. Don't hate it. 10 of Wands. It's freaking gorgeous. It gives me no 10 of Wands vibes. It gives me no vibes of the overwhelm, the overwork, the taking on more than you can handle, burning the candle at both ends and burning yourself out, the refusal to ask for assistance. No, this looks like shit's about to go down, actually, in a powerful way. Strength, Jack the Ripper, just uncertain. It is what it is. The Sun with our terrifying, creepy clown. I just don't get it. Maybe I don't watch enough horror movies to understand, some Pennywise-ness going on here. And maybe it's a nod to Pennywise and the Sun usually as a child. I don't know. I don't get it. And just because I don't get it, I won't put it in the hate pile, but Six of Pentacles, love it. There was kind of a devil's pact made with Abigail Larson's artwork in the Darkwood Tarot. So, Seven of Wands. I mean, I can't argue with it, but it's just kind of has that vibe of like, oh my God, do I still have to produce more cards? And I wonder if some of that is what the whole situation with this tarot deck is. I wonder if some of this is, who knows what publishers, if they're like, yo, we got a deadline, sweet cheeks, so chop, crank it out. I don't know, but some of this just feels kind of like that kind of like, I got to produce something, so here's something, shut up and leave me alone. Six of Wands, you know what? Six of Wands should have gone in a yes pile. I'm going to put that over in the yes pile. Now, let's get into the somewhere between meh and no. The court cards. I'm in my feelings about these court cards. I am feeling some kind of way. King of Cups. That's probably my best for King of Cups. I love this creepy merman. I wish that there was water on it though, as opposed to him with like Maleficent's dragon kind of situation here. I want some water. Queen of Cups. So A+ for inclusivity and beauty. I guess I really can't argue with her. Yes, I can. I want some water. Damn it, I want some water. As opposed to her drinking the liquid, then have her, in a sea of blood at her feet. Queen of Wands. Gorgeous imagery. We could have thrown a black cat on here. We could have thrown a dying sunflower that's all decayed and rotted on here. We could have put some fire, except for this one tiny candle burning back here, because this does not give me ballsy, assertive, feisty, fiery chick. This gives me, I just killed somebody and now I'm just absolutely worn out and spent. Please don't ask me to do anything. Oh God. The pages. I don't think I like any of the pages in this deck. Page of Wands. Just no. Why? Somebody help me. Queen of Pentacles. No. Creepy evil witch with her broom. I guess it's a cauldron that she's, or a tree trunk, I guess it is actually, with mushrooms growing. I don't get Queen of Pentacles vibes about any of this. How about a creepy evil bunny rabbit in the corner and creepy vines growing everywhere with thorns all over it, and just Knight of Swords. I would love this Knight of Swords so much if he were in motion. I think it's awesome, this gorgeous gargoyle contemplating what he's about to do. But I want my knights to move. Unless it's Knight of Pentacles, I want my knights. They're soldiers. They do shit. They go on quests. They take action. They're all about movement, getting the thing done. Knight of Cups, Headless Horseman. I won't argue with it other than, yep, no mother flippin' water. King of Pentacles. And again, Pentacles are supposed to be in the monster realm, so I get it, monster. I just don't get where it says King of Pentacles for me. King of Swords. Cool image, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so Knight of Pentacles, we do have a knight who's stationary. But Knight of Pentacles in a straitjacket. I don't know. I want to know. Let's see, I've got a few more court in here. Page of Swords. I mean, cool imagery, but I don't get the Page of Swordsness of it. Page of Cups. What the actual shit fire is? What is this? No. Can any of the Cups people have water? Can any of the Cups court cards have a goddamn drop of water? Page of Pentacles. What? King of Wands, Phantom of the Opera. I mean, I can stretch and see how maybe. So the rest here, let's see, me and my mini piles. Okay, put this to the side. Queen of Swords. This is gorgeous. This is beautiful. Can she have a friggin' sword? Why? Can someone explain to me, why does the Queen of Swords not have a goddamn sword? A dagger? A hat pin, for the love of God. It's beautiful, but it does not give me... No air, no movement. She could have had some bats, you know, or moths to represent air creatures, some ravens. She could have had a sword. All right, we're finished with the court cards. Tower. It's cool. It's beautiful. I love the creepy guy hanging out up there. But it does, I want some destruction, it's gorgeous lightning in the sky, but I don't see anything that's actually taken place of the shit has hit the fan. Temperance. Again, a beautiful card, but she's just like into this dream state of floating in water as opposed. This doesn't give me Temperance card vibes. Now on to the no. Nine of Pentacles. No, just no. Nothing about this says empowerment and knowing your own value and standing firm in that, not compromising. It's horror, and there are 9 pentacles present, and that is it. 8 of Pentacles. How the hell does this describe 8 of Pentacles? Just, some of these just feel like pips, and I'm not a person who likes pip decks, so no. 7 of Pentacles, no. 4 of Pentacles, no. This just has that feeling of, how can I crank some shit out because there's a deadline and I have to get something produced. So it's going to be as pretty as I can make it, but just, no. Oh, I do have another court card in here. A mummy for the Knight of Wands. A mummy. No candle flames that they said in the book would represent wands. How much slower moving can it get than a mummy? The Devil. No. 3 of Pentacles. Kind of gives that Blair Witch vibe kind of a thing. But no, it doesn't, to the meaning of the card, to the basic bare bones meaning of Three of Pentacles, no. 10 of Pentacles. Great, 10 coffins stacked up. Okay. And Three of Wands. Meh. 6 of Cups. So there's a child on it, and white flowers, a nod to tradition. But where is the other, the exchange, the harmony, the offering of a, no. Where is this a nod to? No. And 4 of Cups. Cool image. Meaning of the card? No. So, takeaways from the Horror Tarot. I'm really on the fence about whether I'm even going to keep it or not. I was so excited. Like, I pre-ordered this months ago. I've been so excited for this deck to come out. I love a lot of the colors in it. I love that it has a nice, like a nice finish. It's not necessarily, it's more matte, I guess I'd call it. It doesn't have the rose petal finish, but it's fine. The cardstock, I'm here for the cardstock. I like it. I tend to like my cardstock on a little on the thicker side, and I wouldn't call this thick per se, but it's definitely not thin. I would call it good quality cardstock. The deck shuffles nicely and smoothly, so if you're a person who shuffles in this fashion, the cards move really smoothly. If you're a person who rifle shuffles, it's a little thicker, and I do have pretty large hands. So if you've got smaller hands, might be a little bit of a challenge, but look at that. Yes, awesome. I'm trying to end on a positive note so I don't sound like Grumposaurus Rex here, folks, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the deck or not. I wanted to love this deck. I wanted to be in love with this. I was so excited to be able to use it for readings in general, for any kind of journaling I might want to do, specifically as a reader at 2 different vampire balls that are going to be happening during Halloween season, that weekend here. Specific types of events that would call for that. Certain clients that this is more their thing. People who are looking for shadow work. I thought this is going to be a great shadow work deck. I wanted to love it. I unfortunately don't. So, I hope this video kind of gives anybody who is looking to purchase this deck and, you know, checking out to see what other readers or people who've purchased the deck think about it. You know, maybe you have different experience and different opinions, and that's a great thing, is that, you know, not everything is for everybody. Excuse me, coffee break. Not everything is for everybody. I was really wanting to fall in love with this deck, and unfortunately, it just kind of fell flat for me. So, hopefully this will help you to make some choices and decisions about the deck. And maybe you disagree, maybe you agree. I hope you disagree and you love it, but these are, hey, what did Eminem say? Here's my 2 cents because my 10 cents is free. Wishing you so many blessings, and I will catch you in the next video. If you like the video, do me a favor, you know, the whole algorithm thing, the thumbs up, the share, the whatever. It will help my channel to grow, as hopefully I will make more videos. In the meantime, until the next video, blessings.